So we prepared the greens with some preventive fungicide and a little bit of pigment and some Primo growth retardant before moving on to the 13mm Vetidrain, which will relieve any compaction we've got, get some air into the root system. The Vetidrain essentially allows air to get into the root zone, relieves compaction and break up any hard pan that might be around 8 or 9 inches deep. This is a very, very fast machine. 8mm hollow cores, pulling out all the organic matter to a depth of around 40mm, which I'm going to explain the reasons why in the next part. One of the most common questions I get asked is about top dressing, why we top dress, why do we have to ruin golf for top dressing, and believe you me, it's actually as big an inconvenience for greenkeepers to top dress as it is for the golfers to have to putt on top dress greens. And also the question we get asked quite frequently is, the greens are already decent, why do we need to put more sand on them? Well, there's a few reasons. This is a core that we've taken out, and in greenkeeping we divide these cores into sections: 0 to 20mm, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80. So basically in the top 20mm, really in the last few years, we've really been concentrating and diluting this organic matter. So the organic matter is basically dead shoots and leaves and can be accumulated through the entire profile. However, it's more important for us to look the 0 to 80mm. We measure it in percentage. So currently our average on the greens that we test, the organic matter in the top 20mm is around between 5 and 7%. We've got it down from over 10% from around 2013. So we're making slow progress, which is a good thing. And basically the only ways to do that are through organic matter removal, like hollow core, which is a slow process, or the best way to do it is through dilution. So you can see here in the profile, the sand that we've been putting in the greens really has been pushing down over the years, and we're starting to get to the magic number of between 4 and 6%. And because of that, we're reaping the rewards for having firmer greens, faster greens. We're down to spraying essentially really just between 1 and 2 fungicides a year, as opposed to around about 5 or 6 in previous years. And we've got finer grasses coming through, more bent grass, more fescue. So this is exactly why we need to do top dressing. We cannot slack on top dressing. We need to get on over 100 tonnes a year. If we were to pull back on that and not top dress at all, we would go backwards fast. We'd have spongy greens full of disease. There'd be ranker grasses coming in. So it is the single most important job in our industry, and I really believe that we need to do this at this club. And so for anyone that worries about it, any time they see the top dresser going out, if it wasn't for the top dresser, you wouldn't have puttable greens, I'm afraid. That's the reason why.
Bueno, hola, ¿qué tal? Aquí estamos en el green del 16, Ben y yo, recogiendo los hollow cores. Oh, perdón, perdón, I forgot, it was an English club. So we are here, Ben and me, picking the 8mm hollow cores, then blowing it and tidying up before top dressing. And we are now in the 16th green. We did eight greens today, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
And then following that, 20 tonnes a hectare sand. So this is the finished article after the top dressing and then sweep and fill. Brushing all the sand where it's a little bit thicker and filling the holes. You can see it's been half done here. Needs a couple of drags to fill all these holes up. So after the sweep and fill is filled in the holes, we then have a double pass at 15 grams a square metre of pure fescue with the burrito. Double pass in the greens and a single pass in the approach. It's hard to see, but in between these lines, between about 5 and 7 mil down, we've got the fescue sitting there buried. And last of all, a roll from our Salsco roller before we put them to bed for the night.